G'day everyone, welcome back to Pete's Investing Updates. We review the weekly progress of some blue chip stocks across Australia, US and Europe. This week's summary, we focus on BHP, which showed a major price drop in its share price, and Telefonica, which was in decline but slowly recovering, breaking above the MA 100. If you want me to review a share price, put it in the comments and I'll cover it in a future video. As always, click the subscribe button, the notification bell, and like the video to support the channel. A couple of things to consider. First of all, don't forget to review our the channel playlist, the indexes, the share prices, and also the strategy. In the strategy playlist, that's where we show our approach and how we trade. A disclaimer: we're not offering financial advice. We're simply offering some educational guidance just to improve your trading ideas. A couple of things to consider: we track on and trade on a daily chart. We backtest revenue and drawdown. We look at the brokerage is not included in our backtesting, is included in our backtesting, and backtesting transacts with $2,000 per trade. So let's get stuck straight into it with our results of the past week's results, looking back since the start of 2007. Again, we're going to focus on BHP today and Telefonica in terms of price movements, and show how this strategy has performed. And again, this is the logic we're using for entry and exiting, along with the average down approach. But this just shows you the results. And again, this is a mixture of Aussie dollars, US dollars, and euro. This is the profitability of buying and selling over the period. We've generated $40,000. The drawdown is from the highest point to the lowest point in profitability. And these are the various drawdowns across those particular share prices. And this just calculates out to about $231 on a monthly basis if you averaged out that profit over the 175-month period. So looking at BHP first, let's look at what happened this week. As you can see here, during the week, the share price dropped quite dramatically. And that's where this mining giant late on Tuesday announced a historic deal under which it would divest its entire petroleum business to Woodside Petroleum in return for Woodside's shares. So obviously the market didn't like that. So that was a result of BHP taking a dive. Let me quickly show you Woodside's chart. Now, we're not tracking Woodside in our profitability. I just want to show you the result of Woodside's chart as well. Now, it's been slowly declining, dropping below the MA 100, as you can see there, but also tracking now below the MA 20 in terms of its progress. But you can see there, if you followed our strategy, we would have entered a number of shares there. The price did go down, then it dived, and now our strategy says it's got to drop by a certain percentage or a certain amount before re-entering the market, and that's why we entered another lot there, and the price has been going pretty much sideways there for Woodside. But again, we're not tracking Woodside in our portfolio of theoretical shares. We're tracking BHP and the other shares I showed you earlier. But you can see here, BHP has also dropped below the MA 20 initially, and also below the MA 100. Now, if you had have been tracking this from since the start of the year at least, you would have entered the market there for BHP. That's where those little spikes indicate market entry, those arrows. You would have entered there 43 shares of BHP. And again, we're trading $2,000 lots of trades. We enter it when the CCI 14 breaks above the zero line. And we wait for it to reach a certain point of profitability before closing out the trade if the MA 20 breaks below and starts going in a downtrend. Now, here you can see we haven't reached profitability, even though the MA 20 is starting in a downtrend. We haven't sold out because it hasn't reached our minimum profitability yet. Likewise here, it broke below there, but we still weren't at our minimum profitability. That's okay. We'll hang on and let our strategy run. As you can see here, back from start of probably 2011, we entered our initial shares there. It's doubled up and entered another lot of shares there. The BHP. Another lot there in January 2015, another 81 shares there in September 2015, and finally another lot there of 130 shares in December 2015, and then the price started to recover. We closed out there. You can see those red positions, these ones here. We closed out those positions with a profit. You can see here the profitability chart there. At 28.49, $100,000 is their baseline. So 28.49, we started off with 12.03. So it made about $1,200 in profit in that period. And that included obviously dividends as part of our trade. As the market started going downwards, we maintained dividends there. But so far this last few months, we've entered one lot of shares there, and we haven't doubled up our positions yet. It needs to drop considerably more before adding further shares to our portfolio. Let's look at Telefonica. Now that's been doing quite nicely in the last couple of weeks. It's broken above our MA200, the black line, and also above the MA20. So it needs to keep tracking above that for it to recover. You can see here from some years ago now, going back to 2015, we entered our first lot of shares and then doubled up there, another lot there, and a couple there, and then another one there. When finally it's breaking up towards it's broken above our profit, our $100,000 baseline. So that's looking okay so far, but again, we need to go beyond our average of the price, and our break-even point needs to be up around that level there of profitability, so up around the $2,200 mark. We're sitting currently at $400, so it's got a bit to go, but it's moving in the right direction. So again, that's our results for those shares traded, the profitability for each of those respectively. The other ones are doing quite nicely. So Telefonica is the biggest probably laggard of the lot. BHP took a bit of a nosedive, as you saw, early this week. Okay, that's it for our review this week. I'll talk back to you again for next week in next week's review, see how these guys perform. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, the notification bell, and like the video to support the channel, and we'll speak to you next week. Thank you.